my goodness, I've been ready for a couple hours. And then when it was time to actually start, I was like, oh, shoot, I got to go live and actually start this thing. How are you guys doing? We're going to have a fun Sunday night here. I don't know what we're calling her. The birthday girl is over here. She's been like, something's up. Something is up. She got a little treat of toys, but then they got taken away because she was crunching too hard, and they would have been destroyed even before the show. We've got their normal treats that we're going to be giving out, just like you guys always can do our memberships if you guys have those. Of course, those work. Hey, see Ron Sees America. We've got a couple of montages. Guess what? Ron's in them. There you go, girls. Get on the couch. Get on the couch. You got to get on the couch. You guys know the thing. We're gonna do hellos. We've got a few videos of Dallas over the years. We're gonna have some fun. A lot of it stuff that I'm like, I don't even remember doing that, or I don't think I ever put it out because I always recorded so much, but never really edited so much. So this week I did a lot of editing. Oh my goodness, for 3 very short videos that we're gonna show you guys. One got released, so they're all gonna be kind of like that, but a little bit better format. Dallas, come on, get on the couch. I know it's your birthday and all of that, but you still got to follow the rules. Oh my goodness, it's good to see you guys. I do want to, before we get too far into everything, I do want to recognize that it is the day that Pearl Harbor got attacked. And so what a day that changed all of our history and World War II and all of that. So I do want to recognize that and remember that because we never want to forget. And we're getting to the point where the people that were there that day are mostly no longer with us, or the few that are left, they can't even travel there. So it's important that we don't forget that, even on a day that we're celebrating other things. I do want to mention that and make sure nobody forgot. Yes, Ron, I think it was a picture from Johnny's meetup with Dallas. So any pictures with Dallas? I know there's others that have had pictures with Dallas, and to be honest, my head was going to explode because as a YouTuber, it got especially bad once I started YouTube trying to go through the pictures and the videos to put something meaningful together. The first one that I put out earlier this week wasn't so bad because I wasn't on YouTube and it was just one dog at that point. I guess I wasn't as obsessed. Putting the second 2 videos together, oh my goodness, it was almost overwhelming. So yes, there's a couple people like Ron. I don't know if Mike will be in here. Mike will be, I think, is another person that was randomly in one because he was at an event, and I had a picture of them that I took with Dallas, and it was a good picture. So some of the people she met over the years. So we're gonna do all of that. I know she's met so many more of you, and of course I can't put everybody in. And if I didn't have it on my phone, it didn't get in because I just didn't have time to go back and go through all the videos from YouTube plus all the GoPro footage and all of that. I think just what was on my phone was overwhelming enough on top of trying to get everything else with work and all the other projects that I'm doing. I know Dallas is like, it is my birthday. She's down here. Can you guys see her? Dallas has expectations. She is like, I am the queen of the ball. Hey, this isn't the ball and I'm dressed in sweats. I'm certainly not dressed up for it. Dallas, get on the couch. Let's give you another treat, but you gotta get on the couch. Yeah, we'll give you treats. Sure. Lots of treats tonight. We're having some fun tonight. So kept me off the streets, Says, Dallas, get on the couch. Get on the couch. You're even Pippa's back there like, hey, we're fine. There. Get on the couch. All the treats are gonna go to Pippa if you don't listen. Get on the couch. Dallas, couch. I feel bad because it is her birthday, but she's still got to do it. There you go. All right, let's give them here. See if they can stay entertained for a second with brand new toys from Walmart. They're cheap. They're going to last less than a day. They make some noise. They'll probably be annoying in the background. Dallas, which one do you want? You get your choice. Let's see. Which one will she choose? Sit. Take. She wants, I don't even know what they are. There you go, Pippa. You get that one. All right. At least they'll be distracted for a second, so we can say hellos and everything. Oh my goodness. First of all, let's see. Everybody in here, I might start doing this. This isn't really a sports show or anything, but we do this on Sunday and the games are on. And of course, I'm watching this, not watching, but I track it. It looks like the Bears and the Packers are now tied. The Packers were winning. And you guys, a few of you did vote, and 80% of you guys think the Bears are going to win. I thought the Packers were. I might be biased because I just feel it's better for my team. And so I'm hoping the Packers win. Plus, as you guys know, they're kind of my second team. So I don't know. We'll see. We're going to close that, though. In that, we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on sports tonight because we've got other things at issue. Pippa's already down here bored with her toy. All right, let's scroll back up. Let's see who the medals go to. I'm already going to say, Kobe, you can't claim 2 spots. I know you came in here later. Kyle with Roman with Ringo first in the house gets the gold medal, and then dang it, Kyle beat Kobe, and then he tries to claim second and third. That's not how this works. But you can have second, you can have second and a half, you can have second and a third, but you can't go to third. All right. Then we got Floss gets third. I know Brandon was claiming fourth. He wasn't fourth, but he's claiming it. So, like I said in the chat as we're all having fun leading up to the show, it's a good thing that I see your super chat over here, Lily. It's a good thing I don't give out prizes for being first, second, or third, or have a point system or something. Other than we just like to have fun with it. All right, here we go. We gotta get on the couch, Pippa. Get on the couch. We got treats from Lily using her Fluffy Forever membership to give treats for the dogs. The dogs disappeared. Where are the dogs? They're not where they're supposed to be. They don't want the treats. What is this? I've got a green screen, which looks kind of silly right now. Dallas is distracted. Dallas, you want a treat? She is down on the floor. She has commandeered both toys. You gotta get on. Come on, up here. This could be a disaster of a show, which could be fun. All right, Dallas, you want a treat? Take. Lily loves you. Oh, one more. She's a double treat member. Here we go. Sit. Oh, now you realize that you don't care about the toys so much. Take. Good girl. Good girl. Lily loves you. Lily loves you. All right. Thank you, Lily. Oh, you didn't miss any of it, Marianne. We just started. The show just started. We're going to be doing it this time every Sunday, rather than jumping around. Although I'm going to say that, then I say next week might be a little bit delayed. We'll get into that. Okay, where are we at? We got Marianne. Here's you earlier, Marianne, and she's here again. I just saw her over there on my current screen. So thank you, Marianne, for coming in. Officially fourth in the house, even though Brandon's claiming it. I don't know. And then there's Paula, fifth in the house, although she's actually in the house. So she was first in the house here. Anyways, scrolling. Then we have not Kobe. If I could talk tonight, that would be great. Then we got Brandon, and Brandon's having some fun claiming fourth in there. I'm going to start scrolling. Pug. Floss, we know your actual name. Floss asking about the craft fair. So we had really Paula, because it was so tight in there. There's a holiday craft fair in town here, which was the nice thing. So I could go give her a quick break on Saturday, but it was hot in there and it was cramped in there. The sales were decent. It's interesting. The small ones in town, and she started to get people who have seen her a couple times who are actually coming looking for her. That's kind of nice. So yeah, they call it the Market on the Farm, which put one on for holiday as well. That one's a local one. They're very nice people, nice homeschooled family. So it seems like one that Paula is going to continue to doing, and then the ones that she's had a couple slow ones that maybe she won't do in the future. But and then next week, I'll throw this out there now, and I'll remind you guys all later. Next week, she's got a huge one in Regina. She did a huge one hour east of us, and next week she's got a big one right before Christmas in Regina, which is the capital of Saskatchewan. So that one is Saturday and Sunday, but it ends at 4 on Sunday. Normally I go live at 6. Well, that's an hour and a half away, and we have a guest. I still haven't reached out to him because I'll reach out to him tomorrow to confirm. I think what I'm going to propose to him is that we start at half an hour late, so 6:30, because it can take about an hour to get everything loaded up, and I don't want to rush. And if we started a little bit after that, so be it, because I don't want to rush Paula, and it's going to be freezing cold. I was just as Floss was asking, because her bird show got canceled, and she's had 2 cancellations, it looks like. But this is what our weather looks like. It's been not terrible, cold, but the snow's not been bad, which not being able to help with the snow makes me feel a little bit better, even though I'm useless at these shows. But as you can see, next Friday is extremely cold. The high is -7. Now this is Fahrenheit. And then so the high on Friday is actually lower than the low on the high on Friday is lower than something like that, lower than the low on Friday. Anyways, it's cold. And so me not being able to help, I'm torn on that. Let's take a quick poll. So next Tuesday is when I'm technically off my restrictions. I can start lifting more than 10 pounds. Saturday and Sunday is when Paula could really use the help moving. What do you think? Put a 1 in chat. Nate, you can't lift till the doctor says it's 6 weeks, no lifting more than 10 pounds. Don't be stupid. Don't risk it. Put a 1. Put a 2 if you think, Nate, you're feeling good. You're talking 2 or 3 days out of a 6-week period. Help your wife. Let's see what you guys think. Hopefully I can remember which one's which. Paula is like, no, I'll do it. But especially this is a bigger one, so I think she's gonna have further to go. And I also don't want to rush her, make her feel pressure getting or packed back up and getting back here. But we will have a guest, so I don't know. See, this is the votes are going how I suspected. Lily's saying no, don't risk it. Floss says don't risk it, and then Kyle comes in and says, Nate, it's 2 or 3 days. You're fine, right? That's where I kind of tend to go. Alan says don't risk it. Diane says don't risk it. Paula, of course, haven't really had that talk with her, or said it's only 2 or 3 days. I could help. I feel like maybe I could. That's where I feel like, but I don't know. I also have been feeling useless for 5 weeks already, and this is a big show, and I know how cold it is, and I really want to. So I don't know. Kyle's the only one that's kind of like, yeah, you're able body at that point. Because here's the thing. You figure after 3 weeks or whatever, if they're being real honest with you, taper up. Okay, do 11 pounds, not 12 pounds, not 20 pounds, right? And when you look at 6 weeks versus now you've done 5 weeks and 5 days, gosh, I'd at least like to help her pack up, even if I can't help her load. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. She'll, I guess, have the ultimate say probably. But all right. So next week's going to be interesting. If I'm a little bit late, even if we push it back, we will do a live next week. It just may be later. And if for some reason we don't, if something happens, like who knows, then I will post a community post. So, but I do want to keep doing them. I don't want to skip a day. I want to keep doing them. People knowing that we're doing it reliably, right? Okay. So getting back to chat, I'm gonna catch up real quick, and then we're gonna start celebrating. We're gonna watch these videos. I'm gonna try not to cry. We'll see. You guys know how hard it was with this one back here for those couple of years. You guys saw me almost break down on here in some of the videos. I decided to leave that stuff in, even if it's kind of hard, because I don't believe in redrawing the past or anything like that. So there's Kobe, there's Ron Sees America coming in saying happy birthday, Dallas. He's got the cakes out. We do have where is it at? You guys, we got the normal treats for the beginning. But we also got this is the only one. This is all the other stuff. Or Pippa will get some too. But we got a little special one for her that says spoiled. We'll give that to her a little bit later. We got to hide that back there for now. We'll get all of that built up as we go. And I also have to balance out not getting her sick or anything, right? And now she smelled it, and now she's at my lap like, Dad, I know what you have. Okay, scrolling. We got Lily in the house. How's it going, Lily? Congratulations to the Seahawks today. I didn't think they were going to lose. As a 49er fan, I can, have my dreams. I don't think the Rams lost either. I haven't really watched, but scrolling. There's Marianne coming back in the house. I'm going to keep scrolling quick here. Alan's in the house. How's it going? Saying hi to Ron and everybody else. Kyle says Cheez-Its up. Oh, I'm already lost. And if you guys can hear Dallas is squeaking on her toy back there, hopefully it doesn't get annoying. We got Diane in the house saying, evening, everybody. I already kind of said hi to Diane because she voted. But hi, Diane, officially. That must have been when I pulled that up. Yeah. So it's interesting because I'm still not used to the Celsius, right? So on the news, when they say cold front's coming in, up till now, it'll say negative numbers. And I'll be like, that sounds so much colder than it actually is to me. Well, because, yeah, until you get to below 0 Fahrenheit, I don't feel like it's that cold. Now, you get below -10, and then you add wind chill on top of that. Yes, it's cold. I probably won't go on a walk outside. I asked Paula. I will bundle up very, very well. But that's kind of where I start saying, okay, now I'm just staying in, right? We're getting to that point of the year. We're starting to look forward to that Fiji trip, especially over this next week. Kobe says, screw the doctor's orders. What does Paula say? Dr. Paula voted, Nate, I'm not going through that again with you. Well, she probably will eventually, let's be honest. Since we're both going to live for our 50th anniversary, and I've already had 5 in my first 43 years, the chances are. Lily says, I absolutely do not recommend lifting anything. I don't think I've lifted anything more than 10 pounds or much more than 10 pounds. I went to the store today and got a pack of 6 of these. And this was the one thing that felt a little bit heavy, maybe. And I only walked it from taking it off the shelf into the car, and then from the car right to the front door, and then Paula took it the rest of the way. But Diane says, Nate, unless you are craving another surgery, do not do it. Well, I'm not craving another surgery. They're really, I don't know. Maybe they should make it more painful for me, because after a couple of days, it hurts, but it's not the end of the world. And I'm not very good at, waiting the whole 6 weeks. I think I always have. I think I always have. Lily saying, happy birthday, Dallas. And this is actually the first birthday I've actually ever truly celebrated for her. I might tell her happy birthday because I think it's towards the beginning of December. But because I didn't, well, first of all, I was not her first owner. I was like her fourth owner, right? As if you haven't heard the story, I'll try to make it short because a lot of you guys have. But my friend got her. And when my friend got her, she'd already been to the pound twice. They don't necessarily tell you that, but you end up figuring it out over time. And then my friend had health issues and was gonna have to give her back. That's when I got her. So I was kind of, she had been to the pound twice. She would have been third time. I was kind of the fourth owner plus whoever gave birth, or not who gave birth, but somebody had the dog that gave birth. So I guess almost the fifth owner. And so yeah, I took her because I was traveling on the road, but I had connected with her, helping my friend out who was trying to keep her. And then, and I eventually just said, okay, I can't see this. I'll go back to the pound. I'll see what I can do. And so there we go. Lily says Pippi gets cupcakes for her birthday. They get like a birthday every week doing live streams. Though they don't go crazy. And I don't think she's ever had a special treat like this where it's like bought and it's a little, something. She's had lots of treats in her life. You guys have seen it. But this is a special one. And the reason it's special, you guys have watched as I went through traveling and her surgeries. And I think it was Lily when I said she's not having another surgery. And then you guys know the story. She had another surgery. And I was just like, if she makes it to 10, with her health issues, she's had a good life and I will be satisfied with 10. And I'm not sad, like looking forward, like, does that mean she doesn't have much left? Because she's healthy. She's as healthy as she's ever been. But I am celebrating that she made it just because of everything she went through. And I really didn't know if we would see this day. And she was doing healthier, and then she had that not surgery. What do you call it? The spasm. I'm losing my words here. You guys know what I'm talking about. So, and I see Kobe's Dallas, lots of treats. No, she needs more, and they're not even on the Kobe. Look, I don't even think she wants more treats. They're not on the couch. One of the toys is already abandoned up there. Dallas was back here guarding the other. You guys want treats? You gotta get on the couch. Pippa's going the right way. Get on the couch. Get on the couch. I hope this doesn't get annoying to you guys watching. Have I ever given you a treat down there? Get on the couch. This is going to be a long birthday for her if she won't get on the couch. Oh, well, that's good that you sat. Nobody can see you sitting there. Get on the couch. Come on. Come on the couch. Get up there. Good girl. Now. Oh, you guys came here. Look, Kobe's like, yeah, I'm giving her treats. Well, not if they don't get on the couch. Come on, get on the couch. Pip on the couch. You guys have seen I try to be consistent with this. They just don't listen. Here we go. Sit. Oh, Dallas. I threw one over here. Where'd yours go? Right here. Here. No. Oh boy. I don't know if her nose is working. All right. Set. Now actually get your treat this time. Sit. Oh boy. Hey, good girl. Colby loves you. Colby loves you. Now stay on the couch. Stay on the couch. Get up. There you go. All right. They're not good. They're already down. Oh boy. Was the last surgery when she had a fall? Yeah. So she's had kind of 3 surgeries. So Here, and we're gonna get into the first video here soon. So here's how I organize these videos because there were so many pictures, and I didn't want to make one long 20-minute video. Actually, I think they come to like 8 minutes because I didn't want to just have tons of pictures for 30 minutes or whatever. The first video that we're going to show that if you've watched it on the YouTube, it's already been released. That's her first part. That's when I got her all the way up to when Pippa came. I think it was years kind of 2 to 4, I think. And then when we got Pippa is the next stage, all the way up to when I met Paula. So she had a sister at that point, but she didn't have her mom yet. We went on the road at that point, but in that stage, she did have a surgery. Actually, I think the surgery, no, it was after Pippa came. She had a surgery because she'd been sick for a long time, and they put her on antibiotics. They tried a whole bunch of stuff. And the worst part is she's on Proin because she leaks, right? When she relaxes, if she doesn't have Proin, she leaks. And that's pretty common for spayed female dogs. Their muscles that hold that in when they get relaxed just don't tighten up, so they take this medicine. Well, when she was having these issues, they put her on prednisone, which is a steroid, which basically makes the Proin useless. So even though she's on Proin and she's taking the Proin, she's taking something that goes against the Proin, trying to treat something else. And so she was leaking everywhere, guys. It was terrible. And this was when I lived in a pretty new house at that point. I think it was a 10-year-old house. And she could not stop leaking no matter what. Luckily, most of it was wooden floors and it wasn't damaged or anything. But she eventually, after 4 months of that, trying to get her fixed, we talked to the vet and we took her in. It was, I don't remember, it wasn't the most expensive surgery, but it was another 5,000 or something to go in and put a scope down to see what was going on and take, is it called biopsies or whatever? And so they basically scoped her, put a thing down and went in, did a couple things, and then they knew how to treat her and what to give her basically. And basically they just needed stronger antibiotics for a much longer time. And eventually that sorted out. So that was her first surgery. I can't remember if they cut her open for that or if they just put the stuff down. And then the second one, you guys remember, I was coming back across the Rockies. I stopped in Denver. Paula was actually doing a live when I realized that I went to the emergency vet. That's when her gallbladder got taken out. That was number 2. And then less than a year later, I think, is when she had the sock. And we were in California and got her to the emergency vet. I probably should have got her in sooner. And that was the third one. That was the one where Lily was like, well, what if it's a blocked intestine? And I was like, I just don't think it is. And I was wrong. But yes, we got so those are the 3, plus she had the spasm. I'm not getting the words right. I see Diane saying the Steelers won. There were a few big games this weekend. The Steelers, the Colts lost, and then this Packers game, which I've got. Let's see, how's that going? Green Bay. Oh, the game is over. Green Bay won. I'm happy. I do know that there's a lot of Lions fans in, so I don't know if that's driving whether you wanted the Bears to win or the Packers to win. I personally am hoping they play one more time. I'm hoping the Packers win both of those, plus the 49ers play the Bears. And if we can win that game, then hopefully that means we can make the playoffs. That's yes, it's a selfish reason. Plus, I like the Packers; they're my second team. But and apparently, Ron Sees America is a Packers fan too. I'm glad you listened. Yeah, well, I will take the dogs in, and yeah, it just wasn't her time, right? And she's had such a good life as she tortures that poor animal, fake animal over there. So yeah, I was watching that score and it was kind of back and forth. And Kobe is turning this off. Nate, do not root against the Lions. The problem is the Lions not making the playoffs is the best chance that the 49ers do make the playoffs. And then Chicago or Green Bay, and then the next one would be Seattle, right? If we beat Seattle. So okay. Ron says Terry Bradshaw. You're dating yourself, Ron. You're not dating yourself as in you're going out on a date, but you're dating yourself in age. Terry Bradshaw was the Steelers QB when I became aware of football, and the Steelers became my team. You know what? That makes sense. I was living in the Bay Area. Joe Montana, Steve Young. Naturally, I'm still a 49ers fan, even though they haven't won since '94 or something. So All right, we got Auntie Cindy in the house right in time for the first Dallas video. Let's go ahead and play this because otherwise we're going to be here for 3 hours. Let's go ahead and play this. I'm going to shut up. We're going to play this. Like I said, this is the first three years of her life with me, and then the second video, which we'll play in a little bit, is from when we got Pippa all the way to when I met Paula and she got a mom, and the last one's ever since we met Paula. All right, here we go.
Dallas, what is the meaning of this attitude? Come on. Dallas, come. Now. Let's go. Dallas.
There we go. Hopefully, I can find my way back to the stage every time that we do this. Oh my goodness. So, yeah, she had separation anxiety. She was a mess of a dog in a sense. She was a good dog other than her separation anxiety. So, she wasn't very good at being left at home. So, my friend had her. She would go to work or whatever, and her place would come back and be destroyed. Put her in kennels. She's such a strong dog. She can bend the kennel and squeeze out, which I watched her do it once, and it looked like at one point, she's bending it and then just enough to get her head out and then going like this. You thought the metal was gonna like collapse on her lungs or her neck or something. So uh that was the I think the biggest thing why she ended up in the pound so many times was she was a demanding dog, loving dog, great dog. Obviously loves to talk back, smart dog, but stubborn dog. And so we worked through it. I'm so lucky to have her. Some of the ones in there that just completely make me laugh. Should have said this before, right? Before I played the video, but it's hard to see. But so I was going through a lot of stress. I got a promotion. I was moving from Des Moines to Omaha. At that point, it was completely on me with just her. I didn't have Pippa yet, but it was enough because I was traveling and trying to move and sell houses. And so we go out to Omaha, and I'm still in hotels, and it's hard enough trying to keep a fluffy dog and not get yelled at in a hotel that is pet friendly. And so we go to this dog park, which ended up being the dog park where I ended up moving nearby because I did like it. And what does she do? I'm like, okay, there's dogs in this muddy pond, but I don't think she's going to jump in. And she didn't for a while until she saw the other dog she wanted to chase. And there she goes, jumping in, comes out completely muddy, and I'm staying in a hotel. And that's when I realized I don't have any towels. I think I had a little towel, and that was it to try to clean her up. It was a complete mess, but I watched the video now and it cracks me up. The other one in there, you guys see her at the end. I should have well, I couldn't have shown the whole thing because she disappeared from camera, but that was the new house. And that was the first time she got to go in the backyard. And what I forgot was the people that had moved, I didn't check to make sure they closed the gate. The gate was open. So she zips around the yard, and I cut the video off right before because, well, not that I had the sound on there, but I start yelling because she already out to the street because the movers hadn't closed the gate. And so there was enough stress around that time. It was happy. I'd been promoted, new house, all this stuff. But man, it was a tough time. I thought, oh man, did I just lose my dog? And some of the other things you guys saw in there was before that move, taking her out to California to see my family when my grandma and grandpa were still with us. I was camping in the backyard with her. I set up a tent to be like, oh, maybe we can camp. Maybe she'll stay inside the tent. Still wasn't very knowledgeable of dogs. And I took a day trip to see my niece and nephew at the time, and my mom came with, and Dallas was left in the backyard. And well, stupid Nate had, I don't remember what type of food in a bag in the tent. And well, that tent was shredded and Dallas got whatever it was and then got sick. I don't know. And so that was her first 4 years of life. Of course, I don't know what happened the first year and a half. 1.5 to 2 years, I know because it was my friend that had her, and I was kind of more and more taking more and more responsibility on as her health declined and eventually became mine, and then we moved and it was all on me. So yeah, the other thing, the other two things in that part of her life that's very memorable was I think there's only one picture of it. Part of it's because when she was I was helping coach my friend's softball team, and it was these 6 to 8 year old kids. The parents were great. They were like, "Yeah, you can help. We trust you." And she was the mascot, and she had her own jersey, and she'd come, and she always the kids. She was so great with the kids. That was the best part. We were so worried at first she couldn't be left at home. We couldn't not bring her because she was destroying everywhere she stayed. And so it's like the decision was made. She needs to come. She'll stay in the dugout. We'll leash her up, and the kids just loved her, and we watched very closely at first. The kids would basically hang off of her, and her tail would be wagging and her ears were happy, and so it worked out very well. And I think some of the kids only came to the games. There was one kid in particular that couldn't care less about softball, but I think she showed up just to love on Dallas. So that was one of the big things about that time in her life. And then once I got comfortable with it, because remember, I hadn't had a dog since I was a kid. I was never responsible for a dog. We didn't know much about her with other dogs. And so eventually testing her out with a couple dogs, going to the dog park, a big part every day of our life for 6 months, every day after work, we had an amazing dog park. It was like maybe 2 square miles. I don't know. Maybe that's a little bit big, but an amazing one in West Des Moines, and you had to pay for it. And it had two big fenced in areas, and as well, I guess a third because for little dogs, right? And so a lot of little dogs did not end up in the big area where they could run free. And we literally went, I think, 6 out of 7 days a week. And for my anxiety, that's probably I didn't realize it till afterwards. That was helping my anxiety every day after work, and she was loving it. And I've got so great memories of that. And so there was a couple clips in there. Again, some of the stuff's hard to see. And so we loved going to the dog park. Of course, we don't do it that much anymore because, well, then Pippa came along. Not that we have anything against Pippa, but those two team up too much at the dog park. And so unless it's a big dog park like that other one, I would have never been able to manage the two. Just because Dallas will chase a dog and then Pippa will team up from the other side. But when it was just Dallas, I could control her relatively well. And we absolutely both loved it. So let's see what you guys are saying in chat here. Kobe says he hopes Seattle wins now. Well, they did today. You mean the last game of the year? That's going to be a big one. For playoff seeding, I have a feeling whichever team wins, if they both make it in, the winner will have better seeding and probably play Tampa Bay or something like that, right? There's Auntie Cindy. I think we already said hi, but hi again, Auntie Cindy. What do you? Pippa's at my feet. She's scared to leave because she thinks she's gonna lose her toy. The catch heard around the world. Yeah, in the back of that end zone. That was Joe Montana to oh man, who that was a tight end, but I can't remember the name. Yeah, Dallas was. I got her that way. I did not teach her the "I love you" trick. That she came with that attitude, and knowing when she didn't have to do what she wanted. Well, I do see in my live chat, we got Steve with Desert Adventures in Arizona coming in, celebrating. Of course, he's got Lucas, right? A much better behaved dog than mine, but a great time to say, and I'll remind it when we shut down today. I'm gonna get better at this. Everybody, it's a great time to remind everybody that Ava Potterfield and Friend has her live at 8 a.m. in the morning, at least my time, and then Steve goes 2 hours after that. So two wonderful, great positive energy for your Monday morning if you're able to watch those as you work or if you don't work. I like having them on, even though a lot of times I'm trying to get my week going, right? But I put that into my routine because I just find it's a good way to say hi to all of you, to say hi to friends, even as you're warming up for all the responsibilities for the week. So be sure, Ava. We got to meet Ava. We met Steve. But Steve was there when I met Paula, right? You guys remember the story? I was the last one there. He checked on me before he left because he was the last one before I left Dee's meetup. And of course, we got to meet Ava at Johnny's Journey 2 years ago. And as I've gotten to meet so many of you as well. So that's your reminder. We'll try to remind you again as we shut the show down, but we've still got a ways to go. I forget that we had Rocky and them together. Oh yeah, at Pictured Rocks, right? The dogs have dealt in another German Shepherd at my sister's because my sister's dog Dragon, when we were in the backyard, wouldn't stop scratching at the trailer. That was an interesting night. I do have video of it. I've never shared it just because I don't know. Well, one, it's not that entertaining, but I had Pippa and Dallas on the bed. I eventually brought this dog in, and I was up most that night with one eye open. Another German Shepherd that just it's an interesting dog. We'll put it that way. But she's gotten to meet so many dogs. The only ones that Dallas has a problem with dogs. Where is she? The show the star of today. Oh, I was going to show you, and then you jump down. Anyways, she does good. She does relatively well with 98% of the dogs that aren't small, right? And aren't scared. Scared dogs and small dogs and ones that are fast and but not fast enough. That's where I worry about her. Scrolling up. Now I'm getting they think something's going on. Oh, I do have something. We've got more treats on board here. Lily said, okay. So when I said okay, so Ava starts at 8, Steve starts at 10, my time. So Steve is 1 hour after. Oh, is she right? Is he right after? I'll look to see if he says it. But either way, they're both tomorrow morning. Keep an eye out for them. Scrolling. Okay, let's we're doing the thumbs up treat bone. I'm not even gonna look at how many thumbs up we have, but this is your friendly reminder. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up on your way in. The dogs get their dental treat bone that they love so much when you do that. Pippa, you gotta get on the couch. Get on the couch. Pippa, on the couch. On the couch. You both gotta get on the couch. Come on, Pippa, couch. Pippa, couch. Come on, Pippa. Pippa, up. Pippa, come on, get up here. There you go. Okay, now sit. I swear you guys aren't trained at all. Sit. Let's down. There you go. Wait. This is the only thing that they're. Hey! I was about to say the only thing that they're good at, and then she tried to take it. Take. They are especially amped up because there's new toys and they know that there's treats that they've never had before. Well, they've had rawhides and they go crazy. We're waiting till the end for those because if they go too crazy with them, I do have to take them away, especially Dallas because we'll see. We're going to watch her closely. She doesn't get them regularly because she chews so hard on them. And a lot of people are against rawhides. And so I don't always give rawhides, but it's her 10th birthday. She's getting a rawhide. And so people that are against rawhides, I'm sorry. I normally don't. But we are spoiling these dogs tonight. Okay, what else? Did they already eat those? And they're back to their toys. Do you see this? Pippa's not playing with her toys. She's just guarding it. And then Dallas is down here destroying the other one. I don't know if you guys can hear that as she chomps into it. That little noisemaker will probably not last through this show. If not, it won't last through the night. So, oh my goodness. Thank you for sharing that, Lily. There is Steve's link for tomorrow morning. Okay. What are we seeing here? It'll be, let's see what Kobe's saying, then we'll get to the next show here, or the next clip. If anyone is interested in the afternoon tomorrow, I have a special guest joining me for a live stream as well. First person ever to visit 1,000 waterfalls in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. Did I see, maybe that's what I saw, or I thought it was a premiere, but okay, so tomorrow afternoon. Okay, I'll try to remember that, Kobe, and everybody else. So tomorrow's a big day. You got Ava, you got Steven, you got Kobe. Okay. Scooby Scooby. Brandon is saying 2. Does that mean I get to, because earlier when we were voting 2 men, I got to carry things next weekend. Yeah, well, I knew it. I'm like, I know there's gonna be in there people will be in here that are against Rawhide. I've heard it, I've researched it, and I have decided that she doesn't get them very often. But it's her 10th birthday, so we are breaking the rules, and she probably won't get it for very long. Especially, I think the last time, and I don't think she's had one in over a year, but she can chomp on it so hard that her gums start to bleed, and that's when I say, okay, no more. I just wish she had like a notch lower on her bite. She's got a powerful bite, guys. Okay, let's see where we're at here. I do have, so one of my new toys this week is I bought a laminator for my I figured for my business as well as Paula's candle making. She hasn't used it yet, but I wanted to be able to laminate things. So rather than writing all these notes down for different things or to-do lists, I've laminated some sheets. So I'm trying it out. So they haven't. No, my only thing that I'm worried about, one, with the markers, you can't write as much, you can't write as small, and two, stuff as you move it around will get scratched off, but it's not doing too bad. So we'll see. Otherwise, I'll go back to my notebook. Not that we need to have too many notes for stuff, but okay. Hey, we got Debbie in the house. Debbie, I was thinking, man, I wish I didn't know, I couldn't find a picture. I know you had pictures with Dallas, and I had a couple pictures of other people in some of these videos. Um, I had so many videos to go through, or pictures and videos to go through to make some of these videos that you're about to see. But Debbie is one of those people that got to meet Dallas, and so a lot of you guys have. But anyways, good to see you, Debbie. Okay, but Debbie is one of those people that have a picture with Dallas out there. Okay, so we talked about all of that. Okay, I think we are ready. We're gonna do the next video again. This is from when we got Pippa. So you guys saw that picture in the last montage of she had her sign saying soon to be big sister. And this goes all the way up to when I met Paula and Dallas met Paula and Pippa met Paula. And Pippa almost ran away. Okay, let's see here. Let me see if I can do this right.
Peppa, this isn't your trick. You don't know how to do it. Oh, you can sit too. I know. Okay, no, sit. Hey, Dallas. Dallas, I love you. Dallas, I love you. You love me too? How much do you love me? Dallas, I love you. Dallas, I love you.
There we go. I gotta get quicker at hitting these buttons. Okay, and because I said that, Debbie was like, "I got the picture. She's got the picture." So we're gonna share it like this. There is Debbie and Dallas and Pippa. So that was after M25, if I remember right. like Debbie, you weren't here earlier, but when I was going through all of these montages that I made, I had to, because it took so much of my time this week. But I had to limit it to just stuff that was on my phone. Because if I tried to go through like like you guys will be like, but what about the million view short? It's not in any of these. I couldn't even find it on my phone. It's somewhere. I've got everything saved somewhere. But I didn't go back through YouTube videos. I didn't go back through any GoPro content. Just going through my phone was a project enough just to get about 8 minutes worth of video. And there's so many more. Hopefully by doing it that way, I didn't go too crazy and do an hour-long video, right? So there's 3 of these. They're all but 2 or 3 minutes. And Dallas knows something's up. So let's go ahead and do her special little treat here, and hopefully Pippa doesn't catch on it. Pippa, or Dallas, get on the couch. Get on the couch. I think I'm going to have to tear this apart. Come on, Dallas, up. Pippa, you can't get it. This is, so if you guys weren't here earlier, great, now I lost Dallas. Her very special little birthday crown. Come on, Dallas, up. Sit. Sit. We might give Pippa a small little bite, but oh my goodness. I don't know if I can break this apart. Wait. Sit. 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 This is the most special treat Dallas has ever gotten, I think. Pippa, we might give you a little piece if I can break it off well enough, but okay. We're going to wait and let her enjoy this because, after all, this is Dallas's day. There you go, Pippa. You can have a small piece. She's still got a big piece over here, and we'll give that little piece to Pippa. This is the special one for Dallas. So here you go, Dallas. Dallas. There you go. She likes that. Yeah. Uh-oh. You dropped a piece. You dropped a piece. That was meant for you, Dallas. That normally I do both for both dogs. I don't know what I hit. I just kicked myself out of my own show. I bumped my mouse and apparently hit the wrong thing. So I apologize. Thank you for sticking with me for that. Okay, so let's see here. So yes, we did. Let's show the picture of Debbie one more time. I'm so glad you had that and was able to send that in. That's a great picture of them, Debbie. I know there's so many more out there, guys. And I think I can't remember what video has what in it. We've got the monthly super chat from Steve. We got more treats to give out. More treats for the dogs. Don't worry. I specifically did not feed them because I knew we were going to go crazy. Okay, on the couch. Pippa on the couch. Pippa couch. Pippa couch. 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 Nope, couch. Pippa couch. Come on. There you go. Sit. Sit. Pippa, sit. There you go. They both went for the wrong treat. Did you guys figure your stuff out? Okay, here you go. One more. One more. There you go. Good girls. Steve loves you. Steve loves you. Okay, and I think Pippa is still searching for the first one. I don't know. I knew this was going to be a disaster. That's okay. Oh, my goodness. But yeah, we got to meet Debbie and Adam and Mark after M25 driving back. I remember going through Iowa. I think it was the first time I ever had to park the trailer in the dark because we stopped and visited Debbie, which would have been fine because I didn't stay all that long. I think we stayed a couple hours. But then about 15 minutes before I hit my campground in Iowa, there was a bridge that took about an hour detour. So I do remember that day. I remember meeting Debbie and Mark and Adam and her dogs. I think 3 of them at the time. And yeah, I remember that was the first night I parked in the dark. Okay, so let's see what you guys are saying here. Okay, we got the picture there. Ron says, love the falls in the background. So that was, oh shoot, Kobe, help me. I call it Root Beer Falls, but it's got a weird name and I forget the rule of it. It's on the Upper Peninsula. Let's see if Kobe will say it, or if somebody knows. It's Tequamanon Falls, rhymes with phenomenon or something like that. Yeah, try spelling it, he says. So so I went there once, scouted it out to make sure I could bring Dallas, then brought Dallas. And my thought was I was gonna try to recreate that million view short where Dallas did a slow-mo and dropped a treat. And I did a few, and some of the first one did well. Tequamanon, yeah, Tequamanon. The only thing I remember about that is it rhymes with phenomenon, and that was the only trick that I ever taught to be able to say that correctly. Which a lot of the words up on the Upper Peninsula come from Native American tribes, and a lot of them are hard to say. So, but that one, that's I think the only one I got down. So, anyways, but yeah, that we I spent a long time filming, and I'm sure everybody that was watching just thought, what a ridiculous person doing all of this stuff. And I don't know, we see a social media influencer, if you will, out in the wild is probably what they were thinking, literally out in the wild. But I think it's like a mile hike down there, and there were a lot of videos of that. I just grabbed one that there probably were better ones, but to get it all put together in time, I just picked a decent one. Hey, ahoy! We got Captain Jack Scrapper in the house. Just got back from Nashville, had a great time on Broadway and touring the Grand Ole Opry. And Jack, we know who else you met because they were in here last Sunday telling us, showing off that they got to meet the Captain Jack Scrapper, right? You know who that is, Captain? Who did you meet in Nashville? Everybody else in here already knows because she was in here last week, popped in, said hi. We had a little trivia with it about who Charlie Grace met in Nashville, who came through, and it was you, Captain Jack. So we were talking about you, all good things, I promise. All right. So where are we at? So that part of her life that we're celebrating Dallas's wonderful life. We talked earlier about her first surgery when she just had a really bad bacteria in her stomach. She's always had stomach issues. She doesn't have the best system to weed all that stuff out. They put her on bacteria or antibiotics, just not strong enough, not long enough. So they went in, they put tubes in her. We got her healthy, and then of course she became a big sister, which she was not sure about. I didn't put all those videos in. I don't know if there was one of her kind of looking at Dallas or Pippa, smelling her, being like, "What is this? Do I got to share my dad with this dog?" And everything comes in twos now, right? So, and of course, during that phase also was when this guy decided to sell the house and go in the trailer and just go on the road completely. And of course, that I don't think that was the biggest adjustment for Dallas. Dallas actually probably liked it because dad was around all the time after once COVID hit, right? I didn't go into the office, I didn't go on the road. Dad was around all the time. So she probably loved that. She was like, this is the best phase of life right now. Other than having to share them with Pippa. And of course, as I was making that video, I had to remember, when I got Pippa, there was a few people that made a huge difference. I'm not in contact with any of them anymore, but I had a friend who helped me get Pippa, who worked with a lot of the rescues at the time, who was a huge help. I had my house sitter who was a blessing. I wasn't sure about her because she was a little bit young, didn't have a lot of experience, but I could just tell she was good with dogs. And there was other ones that were more qualified, but just didn't seem to care as much. Anyways, when things like the one that I'll always, some of the pictures you see, some of the best pictures you have seen, as well as that short that went for 1 million views, those I did not take. That was my house sitter. She would always send me like a video and a couple of pictures to show how the dogs were doing. That was her daily update to say that the dogs were okay. And she knew how to take pictures of dogs, and she worked at a dog boarding place, so she was good with dogs. Always clip their nails. I missed that part of having somebody that could clip their nails because I don't do it well often enough or well enough because I'm always scared of it. So she was an absolute blessing, a risk that I took, but thank goodness for her. The one story that I will always remember was when I flew down actually to Nashville where Jack just was. I had a week-long thing for work, and I flew out, and she was booked for the week from Monday to Friday or whatever. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard the story. Flying out of Nashville, of course, I got to visit with my sister. She's down in that area. Um, the flight back was through Chicago and then back to Omaha. Well, I got out of Nashville Friday night. How did it go? I got out of Nashville. I got to Chicago. When I landed in Chicago, the next leg of the flight was canceled because a plane had skid off the runway in Omaha. And so I'm like, "Oh no, what do I do? There's no way for me to get back." It was that skid off because it was a snowstorm. And luckily, I'm messaging my house sitter like, "Oh my goodness, I can't get back. Are you able to stay another day?" And luckily, she wasn't booked for anybody else. So she was like, "Yes, I got to go to work tomorrow, but I can take care of it." Thank goodness. Well, what happened the next day? I go to the airport, and a flight skids off the runway in O'Hare. And the airport, that airport then closes down. So on both ends, Omaha and Chicago both had planes skid off the runway, which of course the storm moved from Omaha that way. And thank goodness she didn't mind. She didn't have anybody booked. She was relatively new at it still, so she wasn't booked up. She just said, "I just got to work. I just got to go to work during the day, and I can come back. That's fine." She actually liked it because she made more money, whatever. But thank goodness. And then the other person was a neighbor down the street who was also very good with dogs, loved dogs. Who, as we got Pippa, I was looking for people that could come over, and I would pay them and just work with Pippa, somebody other than me. So those three people were a complete blessing around that time. They were all three were great with Pippa. Of course, the house sitter was a little bit more important, I suppose. But if she hadn't been able to in those cases, especially in a new town when I didn't know a lot of people, I had somebody down the street on the corner and another friend that in an emergency maybe could have at least come over and fed them and let them out. Right. So I was so lucky for those people, and I'll never forget them just because they were the only reason that I was able to make all of that work till we hit the road. Right. So, okay. I see Captain Jack saying, everybody, thank you. Everybody's saying hi, I guess. Okay, so that fall in, if you're ever up, Ron, in, or anybody really on Upper Peninsula, Tequamanon Falls, it is up there. It's about what 45 minutes from the Shipwreck Museum, which is all the way up to the point that's where the Edmund Fitzgerald crashed shipwreck. That's the big one that everybody thinks about. The Great Lake crashes. Well, the Shipwreck Museum is amazing, but you really are getting out. Upper Peninsula already is out there, right? You're trying to get signal and stuff, and it's hard enough. You're already out there in the boondocks. Tequamanon Falls is another step, and the Shipwreck Museum is even further up there. So yeah. And of course, you guys, you're like, yeah, we've seen your videos, Nate. Okay. Captain Jack says, "Ahoy all! Just got back from Nashville. Had a great time on Broadway." Okay, yeah, I think I already pulled that one up. Now I'm just repeating myself. Okay. Kobe says Rocky is loving nomad life again for that exact reason. Never seemed him happier. Yeah, because you're always around. Other than you're not quite around as much as I was because I was working from my trailer. Unless I went on a hike or went out to see people at a meetup or something, and a lot of times Dallas came with me, right? But yeah, for the most part, and Kobe knows this. Once a dog gets sick on the road, that becomes a much bigger problem because now no vet wants to take them because you're not a regular. They're already booked up, and then you're paying a lot out of pocket for emergency vets. So there is that side of that, and I know Kobe knows that as well. I really, yeah, I hope Kobe doesn't get quite the same extreme as I had, especially that first year and a half. My goodness. Okay, yeah, I, 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 I don't know what I would have done without them. I would have figured something out, but and there's always boarding places, and I did try as an emergency backup with Pippa. Dallas can go board. And I tell them don't put her with small dogs, and I did have a boarding place in Des Moines who actually was the one that helped me introduce her to other dogs and watch them before I brought her to dog parks. So Pippa did go, and I it was funny because I actually had some pictures, not videos, but pictures. There was a place in Omaha in case all these other people didn't work out and I had an emergency. Pippa was certified to go to this one place where they have to see the dog before, and they've got to, she's got to get along. And I did put her in boarding a couple times, and they've got video cameras where you can watch your dogs. And I'd watch Dallas, and all Dallas would do at this place is they'd have one or two people in the room cleaning up piles as they happened, and putting them in crates for lunchtime and all of that. So there's about two people. Dallas would just follow the people around. Couldn't care less about the other dogs. And then Pippa, so it's kind of in like this industrial thing. And you've got those big doors that will slide up as if trucks were making deliveries. Of course, they're not making deliveries, but that's how this building is built. And there's small windows in these things. And I would watch Pippa all day just trying to jump. She was jumping high, man. She saw the light and thought that's how she would escape. And she eventually got worn out. But that's how she spent the first half of that day once, and I was, of course, watching the whole time. I was working from home, but we were doing it and setting it up just in case of an emergency. I had somewhere I could bring her. But obviously that would have been a last resort because she did not do well. Now, boarding her here, you guys have heard the stories. There's been some disasters, and at this point, there's one place here locally who the guy is amazing. The guy is very soft spoken, slow move slow with her, and she can follow. The guy knows, let Dallas out, then let Pippa out. Pippa will follow Dallas, and then there's an area that they run around outside for 10 minutes, and then they come back in, and they can put them together if they've got room. If they want them separate, they've got the whole thing. And luckily, when we go in to Fiji in January, that we've got them booked for, I think, like 14 days, right? Maybe even 15 or 16. I can't remember, but um Kobe says, I've been telling myself that we had our scares and now it's his turn to make it to 10, just like Dallas, right? Yeah, other than the shakes, oh my goodness. Well, the seizure. That was the only scare I think in the last, well, since the sock. And that would have been almost 3 years ago now, I want to say. So the seizure for Dallas, even before those two surgeries, you guys have heard the story. She's always had medical issues, always had her leaking problem. And so the last 2.5, 3 years has been, I think, the best she's been. And I do think being here in a house compared to being on the road, I think part of that is she can't get into as much. When we're on the road, you can't possibly, and Kobe will know this, you can't possibly, you take her on walks and she gets excited. She loves the walks, but she will see something or smell something and get to it before you can get her away from it. And so she ends up eating things that she shouldn't, right? And I'm sure Rocky does the same thing. We need to hide a key in case Mike is gone and I have to call for help. That way my caregiver could take care of Pistachio if something happens and we can't get home. That's always a good thing. Have those backup plans. Yeah. Okay. Oh my goodness, you guys! I keep talking, talking, talking. Let's see. Did I hit all of my notes? Big sister sick from bacteria. Started road life. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. All right. Last stage of her life as we're celebrating here, and then they've already got their toys. Dallas gave. Did you already break your toy, Dallas? What happened to your toy? Oh, here it is. Oh, it's still alive. Hello. Oh, Pippa's gonna get it. Pippa's gonna get it. Dallas doesn't care. Dallas is like, I know there's more food. We got one more video to get through. Then we got the rawhide. They're the last thing. Like I said, we're gonna wait till the very end to give them that, just so I can watch them a little bit closer. They'll get about 5 minutes on. Oh, she seems to know what I'm talking about. I don't know how you know what you're talking about. Okay, so we're gonna do this last video. This last video is after I met Paula, and this was actually kind of hard for me to make. Uh-oh. Okay, when I accidentally close the live stream down, this is going to take a minute. It gets rid of all the videos that you have loaded up. So I need to go out. I don't think this is going to take long, guys. Okay. I think it's already loaded back in. Oh, phew. Okay, so this last video is when I met Paula, and part of that was also when I left Canada for 8 months or whatever. And then I put all of this in there. Um, we're better off because of how all that happened, but especially if you guys remember, I left Canada and then I was down in Texas, and not only was Dallas sick, but Dallas escaped. Dallas escaped before a storm, and I couldn't find her. I was at a new campsite, didn't know anything about it, and I was for I think 2 hours before I finally found her in the dark right before a storm came in, and there is a picture of that. So there's pictures of people she got to meet. Like Mike, I think, has a picture. I think there's the one where Ron's in it. I think, unless it already went, I don't know. But yeah, this one was a little bit harder for me to make, and going through some of those pictures where I was away from Canada and away from Paula. But it's also wonderful, and it's interesting. The other songs didn't have words to it. I put these videos together, try to line them up, make them make sense, and then pick music to kind of to fit what I put together, and then maybe move some things around. This one, I don't know. I was having a hard time finding a song, and then there's a song and it's got lyrics in it. Normally I don't do that, but it talks about, the lyrics talk about being lost, and I think during that period of my time, I felt lost. I was missing the love of my life. I was down in Texas. I almost lost Dallas. Dallas was sick. But it's also got kind of this upbeat happiness to it, even though they're talking about that if you listen to the lyrics. So like I said, this one is a little bit harder for me to make. It kind of hit home as I was making it and putting it all together, because there was some rough patches in the time frame that this covers, but it's from basically when I met Paula in the desert. We dated for 3 months. I went to Canada. I left Canada for 8 months and came back, got married. All of that. That's all in this one. So here we go. I'm going to shut up and play.
Oh, I got lost on the way to you in an orange sky by the ocean blue. Every mile lost, my soul renewed, taken by the sunrise and the golden view. Walking slowly in the mountains underneath the constellations. Yeah, I know that you've been waiting for me. Time is losing all its meaning, like I'm living in a dream, and I've been chasing all the feelings I need. It's in these moments with words unspoken, my eyes wide open, life tastes so sweet. It's in these moments where all I know is coming into focus, and now I see. It's in these moments. It's in these moments. Oh, I got lost on a winding road in the dark of night, with the stars aglow. Heaven's up above, got me below, as I head to you like the river flows. Walking slowly in the mountains underneath the constellations. Yeah, I know that you've been waiting for me. Time is losing all its meaning, like I'm living in a dream, and I've been chasing all the feelings I need. It's in these moments with words unspoken, my eyes wide open, life tastes so sweet. It's in these moments where all I know is coming into focus, and now I see. It's in these moments. It's in these moments. It's in these moments.
That's still hard for me to watch, guys. Yeah, that was a phase of my life where I felt broken and lost. But I didn't want to leave it out, because it was an important part, and clarity on knowing where I need to go in life. But yeah, the picture of her eye, that I making that video, I thought of so many times. I felt a lot during making that video, feeling lost, feeling broken, remembering the fear I had. When you see that picture of Dallas stuck, her tail was literally stuck. She couldn't get out of the bushes. And then her eye, and yeah, those were rough times. But a lot of happy things in there too. And of course, let's see here. Where is I see Ron saying where, oh, that's Mike. Let's see if we can go find. There's Ron. That was at M26. And this first one was Dallas going around Schoolie Palooza when they had Arbor season, you know, they play music and have people on bands on buses and whatnot. And Dallas and I had matching. Do we have a picture of that in here somewhere? Yeah, Dallas and I were matching. So if I lost Dallas, they knew who she belonged to. That was just, I think, a month after I lost her in Texas. So I was keeping an eye on her pretty closely. And then, what other ones were there? Let's scroll through. Here's some of these. Looking at these, I just had to leave them in, even though they're hard to remember. That one especially gets me. But anyway, all right. Uh-oh. I didn't remove it. Okay. Ron says there's a little less of me right now. Okay, so let's go back up here. Who won the eating contest? Of course Dallas did. That was one of them that I was like, I don't think I ever shared that video. And I kind of remember, I believe I made that after the surgery. I think we were up in those California hills while she was recovering. Or somewhere around that time, in between that time and going out to the other the second Box Van D meetup and Schoolie Palooza. Yeah, I don't know if I ever shared that though. You know, you never know the crazy things I tried in the trailer that didn't make YouTube because we're bored. Let's try this. Let's try that. But I'm pretty sure it was, you know, when Dallas gets sick, you get chicken and rice, and then Pippa would always get jealous. And well, I got to make myself dinner too. And well, chicken and rice, why not? I'm already making it. It's cheap. I'm already making it. It's not too hard. And so we all had dinner on the bed and made a race out of it. Hi Shadow. Now Shadow, if I remember right, is the boxer, right? The 3-legged boxer that Debbie has that I got to meet, if I remember right. Tell me if I'm wrong, Debbie. Did I get that right? Yeah, I'm trying not to cry too, Kobe. Let's see here. Brandon says, "Oh yeah, that does mean you can help Nate." Yeah, now that's one of the things I do know you guys got to see, because I did that was around that same time. Killing time, honestly, just making it one day at a time at that point. Still trying to keep my head up, doing some crazy things that maybe I wouldn't normally do, but Ron Sees America says, I'm on the carnivore diet and I've lost a few pounds. Now, just be careful. And I've been on keto. Paul and I have gone on keto, and it does work. But we're both got to watch. What is it? I got to watch my cholesterol, but also not blood sugar. Anyways, there's also, you lose. It's hard. Keto and carnivore. You lose weight, you see results, and that's what you want. But there's also some things that it's not so good with your heart if you're getting too much cholesterol. We need to get back on Mediterranean. Paul and I talked about that a month ago, that we're going to try to figure out more Mediterranean diet stuff. That is the proven diet that long term you live longer. The people that live longest are on Mediterranean diet. We need to get better at doing that. But the hard thing is keto and carnivore. You see the short-term results that you want, right? So I'm happy for you, but just do be careful. Remember when Paula made Nate eat a dog treat? Now, if I remember right, that was more DJ, her brother. And I think he gave like a $50 super chat that I was like, oh man, I think I gotta eat it now. And it did not taste good. Oh, I got it right. Yes. I'm normally terrible with names. I do try to remember. Let's see what else you guys got. Kobe, the rawhides are pretty good. I do know people are torn on them. Ketones, Nate. Hey, Jolly. Catching up here. So you guys have seen, I did release the first video of those. The people actually don't watch them as much as you would think. I think it got 30 views. A lot of you will, because you guys know Dallas so well, but it's not like a travel video or a place video that will run to people that aren't fans of your channel. I will probably put the other two out maybe when I don't have a video. But I didn't put them out before this, and they won't be out probably this week. I'll probably put them out over the next month or two. Maybe once a month. maybe we'll do a dog video once a month. I know the channel, I rebranded it, and I've not really been following that, but so so now I'm to the point, I put out what I want. I'll still do a lot of travel videos. I've got some travel better for less type videos that I have in mind. You can see back here some of the things I'm working on. Part of the problem is I'm running this new business. I've got all these big ideas, right? But I do have to prioritize the new business. So if I got all these ideas for travel videos, they got to come second. So right now I've got about 8 videos lined up for a, a topic that are kind of a training know-how for bankers on the Community Reinvestment Act. So I'm working on the green screen and what's called a RotoBrush tool within Adobe that basically can put, if I film it in front of a green screen. Paula doesn't know this yet, but as long as I get her permission, I'm gonna paint this wall green rather than a green screen that doesn't work that great because it's got wrinkles and whatnot. I want to just paint this whole wall as a green screen, because then the RotoBrush tool within Adobe, no matter I can do whatever script. I can put myself talking. I can make it look like I'm walking on a trail if because I've got so much video and content that I haven't put out, but I can't go back and recreate it as a script that I want to make, right? So down the road, once I get all that together, after I get all my business videos made, then I have a lot of big plans with that. The other thing I've also been doing that I had the idea to use it for some of these montages, but I barely got these three together for today because I only had a week. But I did subscribe to one of those music AI things, and I didn't do it for Nate. I did it for my business to do training videos. And the first one that I'm making is a song. So in the Community Reinvestment Act, I promise I'm not going to go super far down this rabbit hole. But Community Reinvestment Act, banks get credit if they go do financial education to low and moderate income people. So I'm making one that the AI made the song. It's about a 2-minute song, and now I'm trying to put a video with the song. And so the idea is we've had bankers that like to they've got employees who like to go sing to a nursing home, right? It's something good and beneficial, but there's a lot of things that don't get credit under CRA. And so part of my expertise is how do you do that where you don't normally get credit, but how do you do it where you can? So I'm making this video. I've already created the song. I'm going to put a video together, do it very professionally. Part of that is doing stuff with the green screen, making me dance to it. It probably looks pretty stupid, but so that these bankers can go out, do what they want to do, go to these nursing homes, reach out, but they need something when they go and do that. It needs to be tied to financial education. Well, when you go and you deal with seniors, a lot of the financial education at that point is avoiding scams and fraud. And so we made a song that they can go sing to nursing homes and still get credit, as well as they're still keeping and do a little pitch to the seniors on what the current scams are and that type of thing. So that's kind of the stuff we're doing. I'm doing first business related. I gotta make the business and the income work first, but then I've also got that license now. I know Mike does it. He was in the video, right? He came on and talked a little bit about AI and music. What I have found playing around with that is the AI is very good about making a song for you, and you can tweak it and you can do that. Of course, the more you run it, the more credits you use. So the better you define how you want the song early on, rather than rerunning it a bunch of times, you save your credits, you save money. But they'll say they'll make a music video for you. The song is good, the music video is terrible. And so that's the part that I'm working on now, is making my own video part to go along with the song, so it doesn't look cheap. And yes, it's not going to look real professional because it's just going to be me as the dancer and maybe the dog's in there doing something. That's why you see the green screen back there. But but because I have that license now, I can work that and I can make my own music to go with videos. The words can match and all of that. So I've got a lot of stuff in the works that will eventually filter down to the channel, guys. But it's got to be business first, right? Okay. Where am I at now? I've lost track of chat because I keep getting on tangents. Yeah, here's where I'm torn, Ron. I promise, and then I'm gonna let this go. I was always torn, and the reason I was willing to do keto is because what's worse, eating healthy but maintaining the weight that will restrict you from going on hikes and doing other things, or making your knees bad, right? My dad has that. Like he puts on too much weight, and then his knees a little bad, and then you can't do stuff. And that's what I'm worried about. Because if I put on weight and then I can't do my running and my jogging, well, then keto getting you down to a healthy weight and then getting off of it and then being able to maintain a healthier lifestyle without relying on that diet. But it's so hard to break from the diet because then once you're off the diet, then you naturally put on a little bit of weight. So that's the trick. Can you use it for that temporary gap to get you down to a healthy weight and then transition to a diet and exercise type thing? That's where I would argue with doctors where there's got to be a room where it can be healthy if it's done right. But just I have learned that you just got to be careful about relying on it long term because Paul and I did it what 3 or 4 times in 1 year, and that probably wasn't healthy. And we were kind of yo-yo dieting, right? You lose it, you feel good, then you get off of it because you don't want to do it long term, but then the weight goes back on and you go like that. Okay. Enough of that. Enough of that lecture. Diane says, I talked to my nephrologist and he told me to go ahead and go on carnivore, but be sure my funeral is planned and paid for before I do. Yeah, it's which is worse, right? When you're talking medical treatment, not to get in the jab thing, it's all risk, right? Is the downside of not losing the weight worse than the downside? Am I saying that correctly? The downside of not losing the weight, is it worse than the risks of doing a medicine or a diet or a vaccine or any of that, right? It's all risk-based, as most things in life are. Scrolling. Kobe says his higher rate for editing is negotiable. Here's the terrible thing, Kobe. I don't know. Well, AI can make videos, and I hate the YouTube channels, and you see it all over Facebook now. So many fake, and I know I've played around with AI. I think there's a lot of good things like that you can do with AI, and I am a fan, but I absolutely hate all of these doctored up Aurora shots. All of these people that are doctored up looking perfect. And you see a lot of channels that are clearly just pumping out AI scripted videos, and people haven't yet identified which ones are which, right? So it hurts the real creators that are doing it. It does allow you to streamline some of the workload, but the ones that are doing it all AI, eventually people are going to figure out that it's all AI. Or unfortunately, there's going to be even more misinformation out there because once AI learns wrong, and it is documented that these AI, the machine learning is, they hallucinate, they come up, and I've played with it enough. It is kind of scary, the things that it will tell you if you don't know what to watch out for. Of course, to some extent, we've all rely on Google so much. So is it that much different? I don't know. The ones that are really troubling is when people, and there's been a lot of stories where there are like these consultants that governments will pay for all this money, and they will find citations in these documents that they're paying millions and millions and millions of dollars for, and it has hallucinations for citations that do not exist. Hey, we're going to hear more about all that. It is coming. As much as I'm a fan of AI, I think there's going to be a lot of problems with it. I think there is going to be a small bubble. I think it's going to be a delayed bubble. And that gets me into one more thing. I'm going to get myself into trouble saying too much of my personal thoughts on AI and investing and all of that. If you're watching the markets right now, guys, yeah, I'm not going to say when a bubble is going to burst or anything. I'm not a financial advisor. I do think it's going to keep running up for a while. I do think if you're watching, I'm a finance person, so I watch banking, I watch interest rates, I watch this stuff. Powell, it's very much the administration, our president does not like Powell because Powell, the head of the Fed, who basically has a very heavy influence on rates, but they have to balance inflation and employment. That's the two Fed mandates. Low inflation, steady employment. That's what they have when they make those decisions. That's what they have to consider by law. They're supposed to tune out the president. The problem is his term as the Fed president come in, and he's tried to kind of push him out, but a lot of these people with strong integrity just ignore it for the most part. But in May, there will be a new Fed president, and it will be likely somebody that our president wants. And then you're going to get into this mid-election cycle, right in between the two presidential elections, where the polling is down for the GOP. And so you've already got a president that's coming up with some very interesting concepts to try to get affordability and polling numbers and everything up. I believe you're going to see, I believe it's this week, you're going to see another Fed rate cut, and I believe probably in March, right? Just they're going to watch inflation. They're going to watch employment numbers once they get them, because the shutdown, we don't really have reliable information right now. I believe you're going to get 2 rate cuts before then. The thing that worries me is when the Fed has those changes, that they're going to keep cutting when it's not justified. And eventually, the long term, that'll make the economy hot short term. So maybe next year the economy's hot. Maybe the stock market goes up. I can't predict any of that, but I definitely see a scenario where that could happen in 2026. But that worries me for 2027 and 2028. Might take a couple years for the effects to be fully implemented. But if you drop rates too much, loosey-goosey monetary policy, everybody has money, then everybody's spending it, then we end up with inflation again. Right after, well, we haven't even got it quite under control. Although I would argue the US, their inflation rate goal is 2%. A lot of countries in the world, their goal is 3%. So I think we're at 2.7 right now. Costs haven't come down because they rose for so long. So inflation is at what I would consider a manageable rate, but the costs are so high, people still are feeling the effects, right? I don't know. I'm gonna get off on that tangent there. We owe the dogs, for better or worse, some rawhides. I promised rawhides. We're getting towards the end of the show. They go crazy, guys. You guys want to see these dogs go crazy? Let's have a little bit of fun. They might be able to smell them. Oh, can you see her already? She's like, what is this? What is this? Maybe we won't even try to get them on the couch. I don't know that I'll be able to. Can you guys sit right there? Oh, Pippa, you're not on camera. Oh, Dallas, good girl. Pippa, on the couch. Come on. Come on, on the couch. Couch. Come on, couch. Come on, Pippa. Get on the couch. There you go. All right, let's get you guys back where you can see this. Oh, now they're off. Come on. Yeah. On the couch. On the couch. Okay. All right, we're just gonna let them out. They love those. Dallas will chew probably too hard on it, although she's had a lot of treats, so maybe she won't. Pippa will just kind of lick it, nurse it. Dallas is the one that destroys them. Pippa would probably be okay with them. But as Floss says, if you look up what's in them too, maybe not the best thing for them. I worry more about her splintering them because she chews so hard. If she goes at it slowly and it kind of softens up, then she's okay. But especially when she doesn't get them a lot, she seems to be okay right now. We'll see. Okay. Kobe says, "Gotta shoot my shot." Oh, that's right. You were the instigator that got me off on that tangent, because you started talking about higher rates for editing, and which got me thinking of AI, which got me thinking, is that scary how my brain works, from AI then to inflation, and then somehow ended up on politics, which I always get myself in trouble with. My protein is restricted no more than 4 ounces of chicken, turkey, or fish daily. No red meat ever. We probably all should be on something like that. Fish is the one that surprises me. But you know what? Those are actually pretty healthy meats. I'm not seeing beef. Yeah, no meat, no red meat ever. Yeah. A lot of us probably eat too much red meat. Beef, right? Ground beef, burgers, all of that stuff. Hot dogs, sausages, all that stuff. We should probably try to limit, even if we're healthy, probably once a week, right? And then you guys watching Pippa? She loves that bone so much, she wants out of the room. Pippa's like, let me out. I don't want to lose this bone. So she actually wants out of the room. She's not going to get out till the show's over, though. But that's what she wants to. She gets that bone and she will go some corner in the house where she doesn't think Dallas will find her. Maybe in the laundry room we will find her once that door opens, because she wants to keep that bone. It's a high value treat for her away from Dallas, and Dallas is already chewing through hers. Okay, here. Kobe just bought a full year subscription for several editing resources, so need money to get my money's worth. Yeah, it all adds up, right? I mean, I do Adobe. I have my method of getting Adobe at kind of half price, because right now Adobe's getting towards like $70 a month, even if you do a year subscription. All right. Put a 1 in chat. You guys are watching her. Should we open the door and let Pippa out, or should she have to wait till the end of the show? Put a 1 if open the door, let the dog out, or 2, no. It's not at risk of losing it. Dallas has her. Keep her on. We're watching her. We're entertained. She has it. We'll let you guys decide. I see Lily's got a 1. What else does everybody else think? Diane says, let her out. Paula says, leave her in. She's gonna run up to me. Everybody's saying let her go. Okay, she's gonna get to go. Okay, there you go. Since Dallas is the one I've actually got to watch, I'm not actually too worried about Pippa. Pippa will just nurse that thing just like she does with pets. And Dallas, oh, I already got to take hers away. Well, we tried, but as you can see, the reason I can't give her very many is she's already making something bleed. So she's gonna have to not have it. We tried. She loves them. Maybe in little pieces she can have them. I don't know, but we've got some now, and now it's a good thing that Pippa got to escape with hers. Yeah, with Dallas especially. Pippa will be okay. She's had it enough, unless Dallas goes and steals it. Pippa's back. Look at that. She's like, what's going on? She doesn't know what to do with herself when she gets a hold of one of them. Free Pippa. Well, yeah, Pippi's Sandra Lily's dog. Okay, what else do we got here? We got a few more things to talk about. We got through all of the treats, all of the toys, celebrated Dallas. We had some great videos that we will eventually put those out. Ron, if you want to tell people you're YouTube famous, although I don't know if that'll count. Next, okay, we talked about next week. We got the big market up in Regina. The timing of next week's live, I wish I could keep it consistent, but the logistics of it, we're going to have Nate, not me, Nate, not the channel Nate, but a friend Nate from college who actually just got back today from traveling the world. He's been all over the place for 40 years. I showed you guys the picture of the camels in front of Egypt, where you get a whole bunch of really cool pictures. He's a really nice guy. He's not real. We got to coach him up on how to do the StreamYard and how to do the YouTube thing. He's really nice, really outgoing, which is usually what you need to get somebody on a YouTube live stream. But I'm really excited for it. So the market ends at 4. It's an hour and a half away. Plus Paula has to load up. Whether I help or not, I don't know. It's going to be really cold. So we're going to schedule. I'm going to propose to him tomorrow that we, instead of 6, we're going to schedule it for 6:30. And if we don't hit right at 6:30, I will try to post something as we're driving home saying, hey, we're running a little bit behind. I might even start a separate live, and maybe if Paul is driving and I'm just talking to you guys for the last half hour or whatever. But we are going to do it unless I post something. We're going to have Nate. I'm really excited for this one. I think I remember Floss talking about, when we had Carter up, right? And he'd been to some different places. People that watch really do kind of like these, where somebody new, somewhere different, and we can ask a whole bunch of questions. So I'm excited for that. We've got Fiji booked. The only thing that I haven't booked is the transfers, which I've found out we booked one island thing over here, one island thing over here, but the boats don't run quite right, and so I got to get that figured out. But we got our first half of our trip all figured out in Fiji. Remember, we've got Ava in the morning at 8 a.m. my time, Central Time, and then we got Steve either an hour or 2 hours afterwards. You guys will keep an eye out for that. And then Kobe's got a premiere about 1,000 waterfalls on the Upper Peninsula. Somebody has been to 1,000 of them. I've been to a few. The Upper Peninsula has some really cool waterfalls. We talked a little bit about future content. We're going to work on a green screen wall. I've got a lot of content. I've got some ideas in my head. If there is something you have looked for and you haven't seen good content out there about it, let me know. I will be working on travel content for the channel after a lower precedent than the business videos I need to make. So, but I am working on them. I do have a list of ideas, but I do want to hear from you guys. And if there's something in the videos, so here's the biggest takeaway. If I make a video and you think something should be better, please tell me, because I am taking your feedback on videos I make for this channel at this point, and I am working it into professional videos that I'm going to be making for the banking industry. So please tell me if the sound quality isn't good or should be better, if the video quality isn't good or they're skipping or whatever it is, please let me know. Don't try to be too nice. Leave me a comment on the video or email me. But please let me know, because all of that feedback, I know this is a hobby, this is fun, you don't want to hurt my feelings type of stuff. But if there's something especially over the next few months and year, if I need to do better, I need to know it. So please, please, please do not hesitate to share. And if there's any guests that you want up, that, hey, Nate, we've seen this guy on YouTube. Why don't you invite him up? We are going to be having guests and doing different things on these Sundays lives. We're going to keep doing them. As I said, we're going to green screen this. Adobe has a RotoBrush tool where I can basically script it. I've got a whole, what do you call those things where you got the words trailing on your computer, basically, so you read, but you kind of be a little bit more natural in front of it. I can edit all that in. It's going to get a little bit fancier now that I've got a little bit of editing experience behind me. The last thing that I was going to mention, I meant to mention this when I got real nerdy and I got off talking about interest rates and everything. If you were watching this week, the US dollar is getting weaker. And if you've got a big expensive trip coming up, it may behoove you. I don't know. I can't predict it. But the dollar has been at a pretty strong all-time high as far as strength. And if you watched over the last couple days, it has weakened. So all of these other countries, like take Canada, for example, and take Europe, they very much lowered their interest rate very quickly. What that does, how that all works, there's a parity theory out there that if you lower your interest rate, you weaken your currency. So the U.S. has dropped rates, but not at the same speed as other countries. So as they drop, and as I mentioned earlier, in May we will see those. You'll see 2 more cuts before May, likely. You guys hear Pippa growling? She's defending that thing, man. That's what I'm hearing back there. Urgh. Dallas is like, I had one. I had my own. What happened? But anyways, my guess is that the dollar over the next 2 years is going to start weakening, guys. And if you're where that comes into play with travel is if you're traveling overseas and you've got a trip, you've got a cruise, whatever it is. I can't promise, I can't predict, I don't have a crystal ball, but it may be a good time to actually book that ahead of time further out, rather than if you're using US dollars and then it goes down. A 10% drop in the US dollar or any foreign exchange it's not like the stock market. It moves much slower. But it can start adding up, and if you're already borderline on your budget for a trip that you want to do, it might make the difference. So I don't know. I can't tell you that it's going to happen for sure. That's what I suspect is going to happen if you understand how those work in the interest rates and whatnot. Can you get your wife to be a guest? I don't know. Is she here? I think I heard footsteps upstairs a little bit ago. She watched the videos, and I don't know if she's still in the chat room. You do know she has her own channel. She can do her own. She always makes, when she does them, I always end up being a guest. But then I don't know. I have no problem with her being on. She has complete control of everything of mine, at least on StreamYard. I don't know about YouTube or not. But yeah, she's more than welcome to. You're the one that's gonna have to nudge, elbow, if you want to see more of Paula. I let her do whatever she wants to do. I don't let her, but yeah, I don't. Yeah, I let her do. She does what she does, and I support. Just like her candle business, whatever. If she wants to do it, if she wants to go in different shows, I will support it to much of my ability. If I can't carry stuff or something, then I can be limited. But you would like to see you and Ron on together. Ron Sees America. Hey, Ron. Ron, years ago when I was first started, we did half an interview. I think it was during that 24/7 live stream. I think he did an interview. It was late at night. I came on and I was like, yeah, you can ask me questions. And he always wanted me to come on and do a live stream. I don't know. Do you want me to interview Ron, or do you want Ron to interview me? I like Ron. Ron's a great guy. I met him in Michigan and at Johnny's meetup. So absolutely. I think we have a lot of things in common. But yeah. You saved my life that day, he says. I think what he's talking about, he was on the 24/7. Were you running the show? And that's what I would, if you guys don't know, years ago, Mike did a 24/7 live stream, broke Guinness. I don't know if Guinness ever recognized it, but the longest running live stream with a host on. And Lance and a whole bunch of different people, and Ron would go on and do the show, run the show. A lot of people had the password and whatnot. And I think I was already stretched pretty thin doing my own channel, and getting ready to sell the house. It was around that time and getting on the road, that I never did commit to running full nights. Like some people would take like 8-hour, 10-hour shifts to make sure it didn't die. I never did step up to the plate like that. But if I saw somebody on and it was kind of slow, and then I would jump on and have a conversation. I think that was the scenario where Ron was on and I came on and we had a chat. He asked some questions and whatnot, and yeah. And in Arizona and California too. Yeah. Yes. I'm trying to think. Let's see, Michigan, Johnny's. Now you were you at Joshua Tree with us and at Slab City? We've met a few times. Yeah, Ron and Mike. I kind of miss that where you get to see people, but we'll get on the road and do more meetups and get to see people. But until then, we might have to just start bringing people on and doing interviews and hanging out. Yeah, you were at Slabs, okay? Because Paula and I did not stay at Slabs, and a whole bunch of people, Dee and Marshall, and there's a whole group. I think Travis and I went, but I think they went back to Joshua Tree with us. So there's kind of split. Everybody went. Half the group stayed in Slab City. Half the group went back to Joshua Tree. He says, "Yeah, I was hosting, and you came up to bail me out because I wasn't carrying the show alone." It's hard. It's hard. If you guys don't talk to me in chat, I get bored and just shut the show down. Which, speaking of which, we are going to end this here because I normally don't go over an hour and a half. You guys, if you most of you here have followed me for quite a while. It's been over 5 years since I've been doing this. Kind of crazy. Let's see here. Any last things on my little handy dandy laminated reusable, so I'm not just tearing through all these sheets. The only other thing, one more story, then we're going to close this down. So we're getting ready for this Fiji trip, and of course we're watching a ton of YouTube, right? And to be honest, YouTube is making some of the decisions. And if I could remember the channel, I would thank them, but I don't remember the channel. They'd actually been to 2 of the resorts in the Yasawa Islands that we were thinking about trying to narrow it down, and we were like, okay, we're going to pick this one, right? And we're kind of both, yeah. Well, there was a YouTube couple that had been to both, and they made movies on both. And I looked at the one, I was like, yeah, snorkeling wise, I think it's that one. But I sent them a message. I actually sent them 2 messages, and they responded. And they said, no, definitely go to the other one. So we actually took that and said, look, they've been there. They say the food is better, the snorkeling is just as good, if not better. And so we made our decision based on some YouTubers, not just their videos, but they actually were willing to respond and share their opinions. So we won't have time to do both, or money, quite frankly, because when you get out to those islands, it starts getting expensive. And that's where it's like, man, I'm just going to ask them, because for you, not only the days, right? We're going to be there in Fiji for 12 days. We figured, we kept extending it. If we're spending the money and we're using all these points to get the flights out there, and those points to get just from LAX to Fiji, I've been building up for like 3 or 4 years. They don't come easy. So you may as well extend your trip, go as long as you can, and have the time off for, but it does start adding up real quick. So it's like, man, if those 3 days are probably the most expensive 3 days of our trip, we don't want to pick wrong. So anyways, so with that, remember, Ava Potterfield and friends in the morning. Start your week off great with an amazing person. She sits there and has coffee with you, and just, she's such a wonderful person. Same with Steve. An hour or 2 later, they announced it during Ava's, but it's always been 10 o'clock my time. I don't know if he's changed it or not. And then Kobe's got his live. Okay, guys, we have an exciting one. Just remember, next week we will be a little bit later. Don't freak out. If I haven't posted something, do check the community post. If something does go wrong, maybe we're stuck on the side of the road or something, I'll post something. If not, it's just going to be later. We're closing up that market. It is a big market. We don't want to rush out of there and lose sales, because it is one of the more expensive ones to do, plus gas and all of that to get up there. So next week we'll see you. It's going to be a fun show. In January, we got Brandon slotted for, I think, January 11th as well. So we got a lot of fun stuff. Everybody have an amazing week. We'll see you Monday morning at Ava's if you want to join us and say hello and start your week out with friends. All right. Have a good one, everybody. Bye.